All right. This is Nexxlegacy Radio. I am Brandon here with my beautiful guest. She has a new song out that's available now, all platforms. I'm going to talk to her about Wasted on Your Love, but I had a chance not just to listen to it, but just kind of absorb all things that is Apryll Aileen. And I'm intrigued. Beautiful voice, talented. I just want to take the moment to get to know her, and for all you people out there that's listening, will be listening, that will be able to get to know this young lady as well. Apryll, my guest, Nexxlegacy Radio. What's up, Queen?
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you for tapping in, hanging out with the Nexxlegacy people out there worldwide. So, listen, your single "Wasted on Your Love" caught my attention. Beautiful, 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 passionate voice, and I have to give you credit where credit's due. But before I do that and we start talking about this single, I want the people out there who do not know you to get to know you. So tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am from Atlantic Canada, and I've pretty much lived all over. I spent a bit of time in Toronto and Los Angeles and a little bit of time in New York, but Atlantic Canada is where I call home. And I've played piano since I was 5 years old and thought about becoming a concert pianist. When I was 16, I went to Ukraine. And then I decided that maybe that wasn't the path. And singing it was my biggest fear initially, and something that I pushed through because I just felt the need to create songs and write more as a therapy for my own soul and heart. So now I'm a songwriter full time, and I'm super excited. It's really fun to be able to express yourself and collaborate with different producers and, really have something come to fruition that was a melody or a few words in your head. And passion is probably one of my favorite words and adjectives. So I feel, if I can inspire others to follow their passion, then I'm doing what I'm here to do. So that's me in a nutshell.
I think in general, when we all have a moment in our lives when we're trying to figure out ourselves as far as what we want to do, how we want to become, where our evolution is growing or manifesting, passion is that trigger word, because you just want to go through life with passion. You want to make sure that you have, something that you have inside you that you want to get out, and doesn't matter, anybody out there that has, spiritual beliefs or whatnot. But I do. I feel like anything that's given to you inside, let that be free, and let that be your own best way to be able to communicate with the world in a sense. And singing and songwriting obviously does that to you. So it's better to let this go instead of just keeping it inside, right?
I 100% agree. And I feel that there's two things: whatever brings you the most joy in life and whatever you're passionate about naturally. And I think that that's a sign and something you should follow. And so even if it doesn't make sense, I mean, for me, it's really the merging of science and spirituality that as an artist, it's interesting because a lot of people say that you're, one side of the brain, but I am highly analytical. And so I'm always kind of seeking to make sense of things and make sense of life, and to know all the questions and all the answers, or I guess to know the answers, many of which I'll probably never know in this life. And that's part of the beauty of humanity. But I think with passion and with the expression, we're human bodies made of many different, carbon atoms and all these. We're part of the earth and connected to the water, to nature around us, and also the spirit side. And our consciousness is something that, AI still hasn't fully figured out. Like, we're special, and
right.
I think that we are for a reason, and life is much more beautiful. Even scientists that are, completely on the science path have said, belief, the essence of believing, is so strong for us as humans. And so I think believing in yourself and following your passion, and, it is like a therapy, especially during these times. I mean, it's confusing out there. It's crazy.
Exactly. I feel like, there's so many doors that has not been unlocked, and probably in our lifetime will never be unlocked, because if you look at our generational path, one generation, got to a certain limit. The next generation took that on, got to a certain limit. The next one and the next one and the next one, and it continues to go on. So there's a lot of, doors that we haven't unlocked, but it's great to just be able to just absorb just what life has to offer and just to manifest that into positive energy. And I feel like there's a lot of positive in this world as opposed to all the chaos that ensues, it goes on right now, but we just have to radiate that more instead of it just being such a, glass half empty type of vibe, right?
Now you're speaking my language entirely. I, have this group. We're on Clubhouse, and I've connected with some people, all over the world, over the last year and a half, really, and just, looking to maintain, conscious conversations, music, and just spreading, shining, because I think you're right, manifesting the world we want to see, being grateful for all the beauty that we have. I don't know where you're currently living at the moment, but, we're lucky. A lot of us choose to see what we don't have or to see the negatives. And I guess there's always going to be something that's upsetting. Sometimes there's, more extremes than others. And, one of the things I've been working with my friends is, just remembering to be present. I think we get so caught up in trying to explain things and change them and want them to be better. And I mean, it takes like 20 to 30 years for a generation to really heal or shift or change on a large scale. So you're totally right. It's like our parents. I mean, think back. Oh my goodness, they never thought we'd be here, in 2022.
Right, exactly. And there's limitations they obviously had, and and sometimes it's not all wealth or financial or material. A lot of it is emotional. A lot of it is just specific things that goes on that it's all about unlocking that other side of the brain, and I guess in a lot of ways. But it's funny that you mentioned that music is an evolutionary part of it as well. I mean, but the one thing that stays constant is passion, right? It's that trigger that will write a song because you've either felt that experience or you were inspired by certain things. So Wasted on Your Love, tell the listeners a little bit about how this song was put together and composed.
Oh, well, it was, so much passion and love. But there's certain love. For me, this was an entire romantic addiction, the physical, the emotion, the mental, the spiritual, it was, and I hope that everybody has a chance to experience, a love like that, because it's interesting. I realized that when I was with this person, like nothing in the world was wrong. Like I was completely just enthralled and enamored. And then when I'd be away from them, I'm not that kind of person that needs to have a partner around. Like I'm pretty independent, but I noticed that I was so sort of inebriated on this intimate passion and romance that, spending time away, I'd be like, I wonder what they're doing. Like, I wonder when I'll hear from them, and it's kind of funny, that feeling, and it's beautiful too. And I remember sitting down, and I was on the road, I was on tour. And so I was at a friend's house, and I only had this tiny little, Casio 90s keyboard. And I just started writing this song. And I finished it in about 20 minutes, like the vocals and the melodies and the, sort of the whole structure. And then I sent it to the producer that's been working on the album with me. I mean, it just kind of, I think it was probably like the last song that we wrote, which is hilarious that I actually released it as the first song. But it took about 20 minutes. I sent him a voice note from my iPhone, and right away he's like, yo, mate. So he's British, right? Or he's actually Welsh. And he goes, yo, mate, like, this is the song this is awesome. This is exactly what I've been telling you to do. So yeah, it just flowed. I mean, and that's the thing, like Elton John used to say, if a song takes longer than 20 minutes, just pause it and work on another one. It wasn't meant to be. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, but there's some magic in those 20-minute, from start to finish, and they just show up and they're there. So.
Well, let me add on by saying that how you felt, about that specific person that, triggered you to, put this together is, in my opinion, a part of love and how love kind of grows. It's not like you're dependent on that person to be around. It's just when you have that chemistry or connection, it's a lot similar to what I experienced before when it comes to you just wanna be in the presence of, how a lot of people say souls and, your other half or your soulmate or whatnot, like certain things that triggers the, you can call it a romantic addiction or whatnot, but I always feel like in life you go through certain things, but also you go through certain things as far as, it's always good to have, a significant other, no matter who it is, to just be there and grow and experience and just take that journey on and certain things like that. But that should only be shared with a very few. And then if you have one person that you really want to, be with and grow with, that's, obviously not your immediate family, and you find that connection, it should be a blessed journey, right?
Oh, well, it's very special, and it's interesting, this, being a touring musician, being on the road a lot, and I also have commitment issues. So, yep, for your listeners out there that have commitment issues, you're not alone. This album is basically sort of all about that. And, I find myself kind of going back and forth from like I can't wait to have like my soulmate partnership and, everything's perfect and that monogamous, beautiful connection, building a family and building a life. And then, you kind of flip back into the other side where, you're like, but I like being able to hop on the road when I want to and not offend anybody when I need to like go here and play a show or go away for a month. But I think the beauty in this song is that, and I do believe that we can have a few different soulmates in life, one of my friends, she speaks about twin flames and like the twin flame being your other half, but then having sort of several soulmates that maybe you've intertwined, or I don't know if you believe in past lives, but just sort of like we're these little balls of energy. Yeah, I do too, man. I do too. Mm-hmm. So like, and I do think you're right. Like there's a sacredness with the intimate depth of, I think respect is not as common as it used to be, because with this whole world of, bringing in technology, right? Like I have one song that's about being ghosted. And sometimes I do it myself just to friends when they text and I realize like I haven't texted them back. So I'm also guilty of it. But when you're building something with somebody and you have this beautiful connection, and then you both are communicating and you think it's going somewhere, then all of a sudden someone just disappears. Like, and it's tough for people, and it happens, doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl or what gender, what you identify as, like everybody has their problems with this, I'm sure. And I think it's just kind of coming back to respecting people, but when you can be honest about what you want to. And I'll leave it with this thought. The beauty about this love that I experienced, and I say addiction, and, I'm the kind of person where I don't like anything controlling me. So oftentimes I'll do like a cleanse where I'll, do like a dry January or go 30 days without sugar or without coffee or anything that I feel I'm maybe enjoying a little too much, just to remind myself like, hey, you're strong. You make your own decisions about your own habits and patterns in life. But with this person, the healthy side was that they were always very communicative about where they were. And the love, this is when you know that you really can transform, to like a higher level. Give me a higher love, to a higher love is when you actually want the best for the other person, even if it means that they're not with you, or it means that you're in a position of not having them as much as, or in the definition of how you wanted it to be, when you're like, look, they need to follow their path, I need to follow mine, I want the best for them, and if that's not us together forever, then that's okay too. And I think there's an allowance and a beauty that you can maintain relationships with people if you just treat them with respect, right? And be honest with yourself and with them. So there we go. There's my relationship rant.
Wow. you hit on a lot of things that I've always felt and just really have in me, especially when it comes to that, because your love should manifest and radiate with them, and and hopefully it's returned, but also at the end of all days, you just want to see that person happy. If it's with you, without you, if it's their happiness, you being happy for their happiness is the biggest thing that you can be able to give to somebody, and loving somebody unconditionally like that is the greatest feeling in the world. Now, we're a little selfish sometimes. Sometimes we're in our feelings, and it's heartbreaking. It's different. It's deep. Everything. But when it's all said and done and the smoke clears, loving them meant something to you at that particular time, and to see them happy, if they can go on and be happy and do what they do, then it's great to see. And that's my interpretation. That's how I feel about it. But I get it. Apryll Aileen's my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio. Wasted on Your Love is available now on all platforms. Make sure y'all go get it. Not now, but right now. Follow this young lady on Instagram at Apryll Aileen, APRYLLAILEEN. Facebook, Apryll Aileen Music. Twitter, Apryll Aileen as well. And with the music that you have that's available now, and the journey that you've made to get to this point in time right now, because obviously I know you're still out there doing a lot of things, and there's more of Apryll the world will hear from. Are you satisfied, not just with a single, but your projects coming up that, I did it to the best of my ability, and then there's still another level for me to reach?
It's interesting, again, coming back to the present moment and not being too hard on yourself. But again, I'm a Leo, so I have very high expectations of myself and others. So I would say, though, I am so happy that I am, finally have this project. It's almost completed. There's still a few other elements, and I'm, just running through a couple of the masters actually today. And then, the album pretty much will be finalized. And it's exciting. I guess when I first started the album, I thought it would be finished. And I had first worked with this producer in LA. And just for anybody out there that's, starting the journey as a songwriter, artist, or even if you're midway or wherever you might be, I think a lot of us have a vision, and we get kind of distracted by the shiny lights and the promises that, maybe certain people say, like, oh, I have all these connections, and you go down that road and it doesn't work out how you want it to. And I think one of the things that I've learned about my music and my relationships professionally is that I know what I want more out of the music, and I know how to vocalize certain things production-wise, like techniques and words that I didn't fully understand a few years ago. And then I think just, communication with others, it's gotten better overall. And so then I'm really excited because the guy that I did the album with, I met him in the UK when I was touring over there. I had gone to the south of France for this amazing conference, MEDEM. It's one of the biggest music conferences in the world. And, we started writing Easy Love, and then he wasn't even producing at the time. And then fast forward a few years, I had bad luck in North America finding the right producer. And I got a little discouraged, and I also had some personal things that went on, I lost a few people to cancer. I was had some personal health issues. And so I think, for anybody out there that feels like, they're just getting set and they're just about to take off, and then something happens, it's just trust in the process and trust that you are going to get through it and you are going to be able to finish what you're working on. It's never easy. It takes focus and determination, but I am so happy to have this project, and the guy that produced it, he was nominated for a Grammy for his work with John Legend, because he's written for John Legend, and he's just, monumental. His name's Dan Laframbre Evans. And, to be able to create something, and the music videos that have gone into this too, I'm excited at the level, the level that I'm at now with my team. And I'm excited. I'm excited to kind of keep making more, because I'm always writing music, but it's definitely been a discovery, and it's been a lot of fun. So I would say I am grateful, and I once this comes out, the full album this summer, it'll feel really great to know that it's done, because it takes work, finishing up an album.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that question.
And Apryll, I can hear it in your voice when you talk about it. It's one thing, and I think you know this as well, being a singer-songwriter, that it's a crowded box, right? There's so many people out there that is jockeying for position, trying to anoint themselves as the next whatever, or place themselves into this category that is so congested, right? So the fact that there is authenticity in how you're articulating your project is a breath of fresh air, because let's keep it real as well. It's, and you asked me earlier, I'm actually in the San Francisco Bay Area, but one of the things that I love that has been missing to a degree is being authentic, not trying to sound like the next Beyonce or the next whoever. It's just being you and how you sound and how you want the world to view you as when it comes to your talent. Do you find that as, when I say that, do you find that as like, have you heard that same thing before, or is it just something where it's just like, I can only be me at the end of the day?
Well, it's interesting because I was actually going to make a funny YouTube skit with all the different, entertainment industry characters and what they've said I need to do, from fitting a certain radio format to dressing more like Kim Kardashian to getting plastic surgery to like you name it. Like if there's advice,
Right.
I've been given it, and now I haven't taken it. But I think you have to understand they also know how this big machine works, and they're giving you their advice, and what they've seen has worked for, major artists in the past. So there is an element of yes, they are right with some of the things they've said, but I think at the end of the day, when I look, people are always like, oh, who are you like out there? And I'm like, well, nobody. Like, kind of the image I have for myself is uniquely me, and the art and how the live show and how the music connects to people. Like I don't, because I kind of have like an old school, like an old soul in the music too. And like, I love the Carole King and Elton John and, Queen and kind of those old iconic sort of rock side ballads and piano and whatnot. And so I think that's been a really interesting path. And one of the things I've always heard from people is, because I've done a few different genres, like I kind of have some EDM stuff out there and the singer-songwriter, and I've done a little bit of rock, and like this album's totally in more of the pop R&B lane. But one of the things that is true is that, people say to me, hey, when I hear your music against other artists on the radio, like I recognize your voice. Like I know it's you. And like whenever I listen to anything you put out, like your voice, like it's different, tonally in the production. And I think it's tough for artists because people, I have the marketing side of my brain too, where, people say, do the elevator pitch, if you're pitching a film, it's, I worked a bit in the film industry. And so people would be like, oh, like say two films that it's like that are contrasting each other, but that you kind of, that the story, the narrative kind of fits. And it's tough because artists, we are original, but also we need to be sure that, for ourselves and for the fans, that we're creating something that we're happy with and that people hopefully makes them feel good. And I think it comes back to passion and being honest with yourself too. If your production value isn't to where it needs to be, or your songwriting isn't developed enough, but all you can do is keep doing it. Just keep creating songs, keep, collaborating with people, and eventually, be honest with yourself. Is this something that you really love doing? Because I will say, like, the only reason I'm probably still in music is that I can't see myself doing anything else and being as happy. But it's very hard. It's not easy, when you kind of run your own business. So, I think the authenticity, it is difficult, but I think that the world is craving more of it. I think people are craving a rawness, they're craving truth. I think we've put a lot of dresses and we've really put a lot of lipstick on truth, and, or maybe even completely disguised it, or maybe it wasn't even truth to begin with. And, fantasy and mysticism, there's some coolness in that, and dressing up and role playing, and life, yes, is the theater, but who are you? What's your main role? Who do you really want? So I think, authenticity is very important.
when you look at yourself in the mirror and you can safely say, hey, I did it my way, and my way may not capture the imagination of some people right away, or it won't go, AKA, quote unquote, viral, like some people are starving for, but you did it your way. And I always look at, life in general, and I'm going to talk to you a minute about social media as well. Apryll Aileen's my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, where I always feel like this. If you're authentic with how you go about yourself, your business, your passion, your music, because when I heard you, obviously shout out to Sasha. Once I heard your voice, I was like, that's what I need in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've always like, I always listen to music with a different kind of ear, because I just don't want to hear the beat. I want to hear what you're singing about, the passion that I hear from you when I hear you sing. It could be up-tempo, mid, or it could be a ballad or whatnot. Doesn't matter, as long as you're capturing that particular imagination. And when it goes to social media as well, like, it takes a while before it takes off, I guess. But at the end of the day, I've always said this, and Apryll, you can, either add on or correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't matter if you're performing for one person, 100 people, 100,000 people, or 1 million people. As long as you're getting that type of show out in its own, the way you want, then that's where it's going to go. And it doesn't matter if you have 1 million followers or 10.
I mean, that's where I think the power of belief comes in, right? And again, it's like, if you're doing what brings you joy and passion, it will take off. And I think consistency is like a big part of that, and something I've struggled with in the past. But I know, moving forward, as I create content, one of the struggles of being independent is getting the music ready and getting all the, the videos and all the materials together quickly to release it. Because as an artist, you're already kind of thinking like the song you wrote 5 months ago is no longer you, right? Like it's funny,
right?
The artist way. But yeah, and it's like, oh, that's the old me. It's like, no, and then you kind of go through waves of being like, oh no, that's still me. You're like, okay, we're good. But it's funny, I think about Alanis Morissette, like one of my friends plays with her, and he's like, just make sure that, when you write your Jagged Little Pill, that you're going to want to sing it for 20 to 30 years and still be angsty. I'm like, oh yeah, about that, And it's funny, I mean, that's like one of my favorite albums. So, but yeah, there's definitely something within that. And I think, it's easier to perform for like 1,000 people than it is for, say, 5 people, which is funny.
Right.
I think that intimate, I think we might be heading towards that level, like we want less filters and less separation from the rawness of life. Like I feel, I feel like people, I see some of the younger generation, like some of these younger girls are just like, meh, I don't need makeup, meh, I don't need to do that stuff.
Right.
And they just kind of, they're earthier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Apryll, less is more to a degree. I think less is more in a sense, and also, performing for those who will cheer you on and root for you, and depending on how, like, I'm very animated. I love to yell and scream and be like, yes, or standing ovations all day, whatever the case may be. Don't be too extra, but that's just me. Sometimes it's okay to perform in a sense where you're just feeling that good energy. Doesn't matter how many people are in there, right? In my opinion.
Oh, it's true. And I think it's, you just trust the flow, just trust what feels good. And I mean, there's been certain situations where, I didn't expect to be performing. So I was just like in a city and like, I popped in somewhere and somebody's like, hey, da da da, like, do you want to come up and sing a song? And I'm like, oh, okay. And, and just, again, I think we overthink it, right? And I mean, I'm even guilty of this too. It's like just doing it to the best that you can and getting it out there. Cause we're in a world where, what you posted yesterday is now kind of old in a sense. Like there's just so much content, but then also like remembering what is music? I mean, like we used to get together around a campfire and, you know, hit drums and maybe play the spoons, depending on what part of the world you lived in, and, you know, have some guitars or some stringed instruments. I mean, depending how far you go back. And I mean, it's tribal, it's community. And the other thing too, you know, when you're in the womb, it's like the first thing you hear is your mother's heartbeat, and then you hear frequencies, vocal frequencies. And so I think music is it's so awesome. But remembering, you know, like our ancestors, like there was a dance aspect. And they didn't overthink like, oh, do I look okay when I'm dancing around the fire? It's like, no, they just did it because it was an expression.
Exactly.
It was like, it was freedom. It was movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Apryl, you hit on another thing that just came to my mind. Apryll Aileen's my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, and you hit on something where I feel like, especially you know we're independent business people, right? I run a radio station. You are a singer-songwriter. You get to a point where, you know, obviously the evolution of music is what it is. It's going to keep evolving. You have to just, you know, not necessarily change with the times, but you just have to be a student of it and try to make it fit into what you want to do to be able to get your point across. I struggle with that with radio sometimes because I have to adapt, right? I have to make sure, the listeners want to listen to this, so let me go ahead and cater to this as well. The listeners want to go this route, so let me make sure that I do certain things. As a singer and songwriter, when you look at the evolution of music, do you feel like, you know, you have to make those particular adjustments, or can you still stay in your lane, quote unquote, and still be able to deliver the kind of music that you want to based on your frequency, your vibe, and how you feel emotionally when you do start writing?
Oh, that's a tough question. You know, I think every artist is going to be different, but there's this, I won the scholarship to do this program in Toronto, and it's called Canada's Music Incubator. And I remember, like, I'm such an extrovert, and I'm always kind of caring about what other people are feeling, and when I'm on the stage, so I was in this program with, say, like 15 other artists from all across Canada, and one of the things that they noted for me personally, like most of the artists were too into themselves as they performed, not in an ego way, just too like in their own musical sort of meditation, that they weren't connected enough with the audience, right? So they were working to like kind of bring themselves out and to kind of connect more. Now for me, they had to kind of bring me back in because I was like the only one that, you know, maybe just loving people and loving social interactions and, you know, video, like working in film and acting and stuff like that. I just, you know, I love engaging and talking to people. So I had to come back into the moment of being in my song and focusing on each, you know, what am I singing? What's the story? What is the emotion? Like, what exactly am I conveying to these people that are here and blessing me with their time? And they're, you know, and I'm able to bless them with the music. And I say blessed, but like you know, also like part of that is just, you know, not to take it as a religious term, but like we're going to have fun and we're going to dance and we're going to crack some jokes and we're going to like laugh at relationships and we're going to like 1 minute be like, oh, happily ever after, I found my soulmate. And the next minute I'm going to be like, I think I'm just going to tease you at the club tonight. Like that's totally me, right? Like all of those things.
Right.
So I say that within the music. And then I always kind of bring it back to spirituality because, you know, at the end of the day, it's just that happiness within. But that being said, I think it's, you know, in business, some of the sales and marketing studying that I've done, they say, you know, always cater to the customer. Like, what does the customer want? But I think in order for you to find your customer, you have to also like be true to yourself and what you're creating and what makes you happy. So there's a balance. And, you know, I used to love playing dress up as a kid. So I think just being able to express myself. And I mean, if there's a certain song that really, really like takes off, then I guess I would be mindful to the fact that my fan base might want some more similar style songs, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I think it's a balance. And, you know, for me, yeah, it's hard to say. I guess I would say that maybe I need to come back in a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one.
I think you said it well. I think if anything, there has to be a balance because, just for an example, I struggle with it too. Sometimes I'm filtering music in and out, and I'm on, okay, I got to make sure I keep this on rotation. But then, if the, specific song or songs have, run its course, then I'm struggling with either taking it off off rotation because I love it myself, or just let me just keep it on there. Or there's always a different type of way to go about it. But I always look at it when it comes to, like you said, finding a balance, because we do this because we have something in us to get out to the people, but we also want to pay attention to the people because they're absorbing our energy. It's kind of like if you give a little bit of yourself every day you go into the studio, you're giving pieces of yourself to these people, and you just want to make sure not only is it nurtured and appreciated and respected and the vibe is there, but you also want to make sure that when it's all said and done, you want to still continue your creativity and certain things that you want to do for you. So there is a balance you have to make between that, I think.
Well, and I think too, it's like artists will have a song where it's like, well, this song's for me. It's like and you think of it like this. There's songs that like a lot of people will connect with, and then you have those songs where it's maybe more of an artist song. And those true fans, the super fans, are going to really connect to that. And instead of it being like, that the 2 or 3 hit singles off the album, they're like, no, I like this one. Because when, it's like like a treasure game. It's like you go through and then you find these little gifts, and then it's not overplayed and it's not something that everybody knows about. And you feel, you're a little bit of like more of an exclusive fan and that kind of thing. So, but I mean, you're right. Like one of my friends does a radio show up here and he does a phenomenal job, and he's always just, trying to think about what do the people want? What does the audience want? Because they're very much a part of it. But again, with songwriting, what I've found is that the more deep I go within and the more vulnerable and raw and truthful I am, even though like some of it's nerve-wracking to share those kind of diary-like emotions with people, people seem to want that, and I think there's an element to just not being shy and not overthinking it, and I guess being exposed a little bit naked as a creator, because there's always like somebody's going to resonate with that, and maybe that's what the world needs. It's that more in-depth kind of digging down deep and saying what a lot of people are afraid to say.
I think we need more of it, and we also need to be around more people who are willing to embrace it. And I think even the ones that do not or have not probably can or don't know how to. So I think if we continue to keep exposing ourselves, I guess that's a weird way to put it, but if we keep doing that in a sense, you know what I mean, right? Like if we keep doing it in the sense where it gives people confidence in coming out of their shell, right? And I think sometimes, like, a lot of people used to say, oh, you know what, Charles, you're shy. I used to be super shy when I was younger, and then a lot of people were like, you're definitely not now, but it wasn't like that. I think there was moments in my life where I just wanted to be more, right? So then it was up to me to figure out how to do it my way. And this is my way to be able to put this out there. And I think we need to have more people be inspired by that. Same thing with you, Apryl, when I hear your story and your journey and your music journey and how you want to go about doing things yourself, that's inspiring for somebody. Somebody out there right now, in addition to me, is going to be like, you know what, I heard Apryl on the radio. I want to figure out my way to do it. And I think that's what we're all here for in a sense, right?
Well, yeah, because your way is not going to be everybody's way, and the same for me. How I go about it is not going to be how other people's path is meant to shape, and I think it's interesting. It's like a learning curve, all you can do. I still remember, oh my God, like all I did was play piano, like concert piano style, like Rachmaninoff and Tchaikovsky, and and then I reached a point where the writing, I had let go of that, and I later came back into that aspect and realized that I could just, get back into playing piano, and I didn't have to go play a live show. Like, I just knew that I needed to sit in front of a keyboard and write. And then it turned into me performing. And I remember convincing one of my friends that was a pianist that had taught himself how to play guitar. I'm like, oh my God, like, I got booked to play a show. I don't know what an XLR cord is. I don't even know, like, how to plug a microphone in. What do I need? Like, I've never done this before. And, from day one of, like, not knowing what a 1/4-inch cable was or understanding setting up live music. And now I could, like, literally run sound for a full band and figure out how to mix my live sound out of, out of being in a few questionable situations. But it's been a learning curve, and the only way that I could understand and then, also learn how I want my vocals mixed in the studio and how I want a reverb added to a drum or a gated reverb or different elements to pop. I mean, the only way that you get to know that is to do it and to just,
Right.
keep doing it. And the more you do it, the more comfortable it gets. And like, you probably found your first radio show episode was probably like nerve-wracking, and you were probably freaking out. And then, as you get through 10, 20, it starts to get easier, and then all of a sudden it's just a part of you.
Very true. Very true. Apryll Aileen's my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, and I could talk to you forever, but what I want to do is I want to give you the opportunity to have the floor, sing your shout-outs and anything that you want to either plug or promote or direct the people to come watch or look. And for the record, even though I'm out here in the Bay Area, I would love to see you perform. So, if you got any shows coming, I got a passport, so I'm ready to go if you're going to be in Canada or elsewhere. So I would love to see you perform live.
Well, I do have a really special show. I can't say what it is, but I could say the date. It's going to be in Niagara Falls, Ontario on August 15th. That's pretty exciting. That's a beautiful place to visit. And I am hoping to get back down to LA. I actually I've played Priceless Music Festival that was north of San Francisco. And I've played a few different, I think I was at like Pianos, and then we ended up doing something at Hyde Street Studios. I think it's Hyde Street that's in San Francisco. And, oh, man, I just had such a blast in San Fran. So I'd like to get back down and actually, play in California, one of my favorite places in the world. I kind of lived in Venice Beach for quite a while. So, but with that being said, I know that the next few months I will be getting ready, releasing more singles, and then touring in Canada. So if people want to stay in touch, the best way, I'm really active on Instagram. Again, it's Apryll Aileen, Apryll, Aileen with an A, Aileen. Definitely on YouTube. I'll be, releasing a lot of videos on there. So please make sure to subscribe. It really helps us out. And any artists and any people that you like their content, just hit that subscribe button. Social currency, it's free and it helps us out. And then I do have a mailing list on my website. So, feel free to sign up, to connect and stay posted. This song, Wasted on Your Love, is my brand new one that I just released. And, it's on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, all those places. It's on Tidal. So, pick which one and, save it to your library, add it to a playlist, share it with a friend. If you put it in a story and tag me on it, I will totally show some love back. So, yeah. And just let me know what you think of it. The music video, so I'll just say the song, was produced by Daniel Laframber Evans, who's over in the UK. And it was mastered by Nick Fowler. His artist name is FWLR, and he's a huge EDM artist. He's incredible, one of my favorite people to work with ever. And then the music video was shot and chopped by Andrew Tidby, who has done a lot all across North America, really. He's an incredible director and filmmaker. And so we had some help. I had actually learned how to dance. Don't know how to dance, but I tried to learn for this video. It was like so awkward, but I think, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Like one of my best friends, Jennifer Irving, I'm at her place right now, and it's kind of funny. She's always creatively just pushing me, you know, and she's like, oh, this song's so good, but you got to dance. And so it's like, oh no, but she's right, because the song, it makes you want to get up and dance. You could put it on for a workout, get ready with the crew when you're going out to the bar, like so many options, and, you know, just dancing. And I gave a call to this company that's also a woman that runs her own business, and it's called the Studio Dance School, and she got these 4 incredible dancers. They choreographed it in like an afternoon, and then I show up to learn it. I'm like, this is so insanely difficult. But I made it. If you guys want to see me make a fool of myself trying to dance, you can check Wasted on Your Love video by Apryll Aileen. And yeah, it was awesome. We did it, man. It wasn't easy.
You did it, but you enjoyed yourself during that process, and nobody can take that away from you. So that is great. That is great. Well, listen, I want to not only go ahead, dear. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I was going to say it's funny because, like, when I was really young, I would, you know, listen to Madonna and, like, sing and dance in my room. And then, you know, fast forward to now, and I'm like, I don't want to dance. I'm scared. Nope, it's time to learn. Come on, here we go.
Hey, sometimes you got to just let it loose and go. And people are going to love that, too, because they're going to see you again out of your element, especially if they haven't seen you do it before. So that is really nice. That is good. That is good. Apryll, not only thank you for coming on the Nexxlegacy Radio, but I appreciate you, and I am so proud of your journey and your evolution because, you know, beautiful voice, as I said, music is great. I can't wait to check out your future projects and see you perform. So if you're performing in August and if there's going to be stuff available, I definitely want to see that. So I just wish you not just the best. I want you to come back and hang out with us again. I just really want to see you continue to evolve. So I just really and truly appreciate you, and thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure, and, you know, shout out to Sasha for connecting us. And I've got some new music and the full album, so I'd love to pop back on and just, you know, chat music, chat life, spirituality, getting out of your comfort zone, you know, all that good stuff. And I'll keep you posted on shows up in Canada, and then, you know, hopefully I can get down to San Francisco, and yeah, we could connect someday in person. But this has been awesome. I just I'm connected with Nexxlegacy now on Instagram, and I'll you know, make sure that I find all the right channels. And I can't wait to hear our interview, Charles. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely, and I'll make sure I'll get that out. And also, if you could do me a favor, and if you could just say, hey, this is Apryll Aileen, and you are listening to Nexxlegacy Radio.
Okay, perfect. Hey, I'm Apryll Aileen, and you are listening to Nexxlegacy Radio.
Perfect. Apryll, you're the best.
Awesome.
I bought your singles a couple times on Apple, so I'll make sure that I direct traffic your that way, or, you know, the other outlets obviously as well. And I just want to continue to see you grow. I'm super proud of you, and I cannot wait to meet you in person and see you perform and all that good stuff. So I can't wait.
Oh, thank you so much. It means a lot. You know, it has not been an easy journey, and it's not for the light, or not for the, what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say it's not for the lighthearted, but I'm like, no, that's not what you're looking to say.
What is this thing? It's not for the weak-hearted or something. It's not for, I forget what, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? Faint of heart, or I don't know.
There you go. That's it. It's not for the faint of heart. Yes. There you go. That's it, I think.
I think so. I think that makes sense. But, you know, and then just life, just following your passions, following your dreams, and pushing your comfort zone. And yeah, I appreciate the support so much because, you know, this album, it means a lot. And I want to share it with the world. So thank you.
This is perfect timing, and I'm definitely here to support. And I will tag you on all things. You know, I will attach you on it, not just when this is airing, but also just in support of just I'll do an album alert or a single alert as far as, your new single that's available on all streams. So you'll get my tags and information and all that good stuff. So I am proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing, and I will be in touch. And anything I need to do or you need me to do, let me know, okay?
Okay, I really appreciate that. Yeah, because I'd love, any help on the next singles. I got one coming out April 1st, and then another one probably towards middle to end of May. And then the whole album's coming out. So any help
Perfect.
you can give, that would be awesome. And I'm gonna find you on all the channels. And I love stories too. I'm obsessed with Instagram. So I'm on TikTok too, but I'm gonna actually restart my TikTok probably in a couple days, and then go harder on TikTok. I questioned whether I wanted to even be on it, and then I was like, they're so escaping TikTok. I tried.
Yeah,
I
it's
tried.
like I have this thing. I just, after years of doing radio, and obviously when TikTok came, I did not pay attention to it, but I want to say maybe a couple months ago, I did. I added myself on it, or added the station, I guess you could say, and I still have to get used to it. I have to get used to it. I guess they said the same thing about Instagram when Instagram first came out too, right? So, I was on Twitter for a long period of time, and then Instagram kind of took over, and I had to adapt, I guess.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because for the longest time, I was actually going to shut down my Twitter, and then because I was like, I'm not on this, I don't really do anything, and then I got on Clubhouse, and then Twitter kind of, with the whole, the last 2 years, it just seems like Twitter picked back up again, and for whatever reason. I mean, I know that Donald Trump and that whole controversy was, that really probably did a lot to soar Twitter stocks in the beginning of his presidency.
Right. Yeah.
But then seems, I go on there now, and there's so many conversations. So I guess I reappreciate it now, so I won't be getting rid of it. And it connects really well. If you're not on Clubhouse, you should definitely be on Clubhouse. That's been a tremendous platform, especially if you're an audio or a radio show type host, because it's all
Absolutely.
audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
So
look you up.
that
I have a Clubhouse. Yeah, I have a Clubhouse set up, so I'll make sure I'll add you on there as well. So, absolutely. Good deal.
Awesome. Yeah. So find me, and then I'll follow you back, and then because it's cool, and there's some really good rooms on there too, and just another thing to keep us busy and distract us from finishing your radio shows.
Well, we're also distracted, but also we have an agenda as well that we want to get out to the world, as far as just again, good vibes, good energy, great business drive. Hopefully that will inspire people too. So, we still got a lot to do, Apryll. We got a lot to do, but I'm ready to help you unconditionally and at will. You need me, I'm here.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. What's the best way to connect? Maybe just Instagram?
No, actually, you know what? I'm going to, I know you followed me, I'll follow you, and I'm going to message you my my contact number too. So you can text me, call me, you can hit me up anytime.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. And I can't wait to get back to San Fran, man. It's going to be so good.
Listen, you definitely need to come out this way, and, or I should say, I should make sure that I set it up where, maybe there's some shows for you out this way as well. So, that would be great for that to happen and get you out here. There's so many places out here in this area where, performances is needed, and it would be good to get you down here. So that would be excellent. I just messaged you on Instagram, my direct contact. So lock me in, my dear, and I'm looking forward to all things Apryll.
Yay! Oh my God, let's do it. I would love that. So what I'll do is, if I don't see you before autumn, in Canada, if you can't make it up to Canada in August, or maybe I got to set up some shows in Toronto too. Maybe we'll touch base in October, November. I would like to be in California, so I would gladly take you up on some shows helping
Well,
me get
hopefully
settled
that will
down
be
there.
sooner than later, dear, because, yeah, August, most definitely, I could do that. That gives me enough time. I have my passport. I'm ready to go. But if there's a way that we can get you a show down here before that, then that would be great, too. So, I gotta put that action into, I gotta put these words into action. So if there's, venues out here, let me make that attempt to, see if they can get you out here. So, let me go ahead and see if I can put that into some real action, dear. So that would be great.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, well, let me know if you need me to send you like a bio, or I don't know, you probably have the press release. But if you need anything from me, just let me know and I'll send it your way.
Okay. And I have your bio. Actually, I do. I have your press release as well. I have plenty of stuff that I can be able to present, but also I'll keep you posted on it too. So just lock my number in, check your messenger on IG right now, and you need me, I'm here.
Heck yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome. Let's do it.
Let's do it, Apryll. Thank you again. You're the best, and I'll tag you when I'll air this as well. And then I'm going to do something on a promotional thing for your single being released as well. Need all the support, and from my Nexxlegacy team, we'll go ahead and make sure we go hard for you too. So, yep, we're on it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that.
All right, sweetheart. I'll be in touch. All right.
Okay, sounds good. We'll talk soon.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.